My name is Neil Patel, and I help companies generate more revenue through digital marketing. Entrepreneur Magazine said I was the #1 marketer in the world, and they also said I created one of the 100 most brilliant companies. I started my first website at the age of 16. I took all the money that I earned from working at an amusement park, and I paid a marketing firm. The marketing firm provided no results, and I quickly learned that I wasn't alone. Out of my frustration and from being broke, I had no choice but to learn marketing. My first client was a power supply manufacturer. I helped him generate another $25 million in sales, and from that point, I realized the power of marketing. I helped everyone that I could, and I built my reputation by being honest and over-delivering. I've helped companies like Google, NBC, Viacom, General Motors, eBay, but nothing's more satisfying than helping small business owners succeed. I founded 4 multi-million-dollar companies, and I've learned all the mistakes that you should avoid. I've written about them on Forbes, Entrepreneur, Inc., Fast Company, and even on my own blogs. It's so awesome to know that colleges from all around the world are teaching my material in their classroom. Over the years, I've received awards from the President of the United States, the House of Representatives, and the United Nations. People believe marketing is expensive and difficult. Fortunately, that's not true. There is a formula. Even if you don't have a technical bone in your body, you can get results. And my mission is to share this formula with you.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? So thank you guys for joining. We're going to be giving a presentation. I'm going to end up loading my screen, and we'll be doing intros soon as well, so you can get to know more of the people on NP Digital that make the magic happen. So I'm assuming you guys can all see my screen. Take that as a yes. So today we're going to be breaking down 10 brilliant social ad strategies to outsmart your competition. You know, it's like, I know a lot of people say, hey, ads are expensive, they don't convert well. Well, if that was the case, yes, they are expensive, but if they didn't convert well and they didn't produce an ROI, they wouldn't be expensive. And if they didn't work, you wouldn't see Google and Facebook being these $1 trillion+ companies. I'm the co-founder of an ad agency called NP Digital. I created some software companies, some like Crazy Egg. I also have an SEO tool, or we have an SEO tool called Uber Suggest. We have companies of all sizes like Amazon, NBC, Facebook, Microsoft, and the list goes on and on. The reason I'm saying all of this isn't to brag. It's more so to show you that, hey, we've done a lot of amazing stuff for tons of clients. And it's not just me, it's a lot about the people on the screen here that you can see as well. So when we tell you some of these strategies, these aren't just strategies that we're making up. These are strategies that we've actually tested. We know that works for our clients. And we work with clients of all sizes. Matt here works in our SMB division, so startups, mom and pops, all the way to Fortune 100 companies that Sherry works on. So you guys know a little about me. I want to pass it over to Sherry. Sherry, do you want to give a quick introduction of yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, good morning, good evening to all the viewers out there. I'm Sherry Chen. I'm the Associate Director of Paid Media Strategy at NPD, working with the enterprise brands that Neil mentioned. And I have been in digital for 6 years, really focusing on holistic media strategy and planning now, but I do have a soft spot for paid social advertising where I got my start.
Awesome. Matt, you want to give a quick overview?
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Matt Francis, Director of Strategy for Paid Media with our SMB division, MP Excel. Over a decade experience, specifically working with paid ads. Google being my all-time favorite. It's where I got my start. So
Awesome. So now let's dive into 10 brilliant social ad strategies to outsmart your competition. So why should you care about social media in 2022? Well, here's some quick stats for you. 57.6% of the world's population uses social media. That's kind of crazy to think about. TikTok now has over 1 billion users, faster adoption rate than Facebook. The average LinkedIn visit duration is 6 minutes and 57 seconds, according to SimilarWeb. And more than half of Instagram's global users are under the age of 35. So why should you care? Again, if you harness the power of social media, you can get a massive ROI. If people aren't generating ROI from social ads, you wouldn't see Facebook being such a big company. You wouldn't see Instagram getting massive adoption. You wouldn't see TikTok getting as big of adoption. And you can end up generating a lot of sales from it, build up a new audience. They have a lot of cool strategies that you can end up using that you guys already know about, like lookalike audiences, because they have so much data on people. They can tell you who would be your ideal potential customer based on your existing customers. And you can end up seeing a massive return on ad spend. And what we've seen is if you don't do it, your competitors are going to do it. And there's a lot of cool tips and strategies out there. Like you can see Facebook's ad library and see what your competitors are doing. In essence, you just have to be on these platforms and you need to be using the ads as well. Even if it doesn't work out for you in the short run, there's ways for it to work out. And we're going to break down how it can work for you, not only in the long run, but also in the short run with some of the strategies that we're going to be breaking down today. So at NP Digital, we've run ads for many people all over the world, from Canada to US to Brazil to Europe. We're expanding quickly. We're adding 10 more countries. We have over 640 people who are part of the team, and we're seeing a lot of data that works. So we're going to be sharing those insights with you.
Thanks, Neil. So obviously there's a lot of ways to reach social users in terms of finding new audiences. But one of the first tactics that we recommend as an agency is using ad retargeting for abandoned carts. And retargeting is one of those strategies to be really competitive on social. You can serve your ads on all these different platforms to people who already are familiar with your brand or company, have visited your products, but just haven't made that purchase yet. And so if you have access to your customers' first-party data, or if you have third-party tracking through cookies or pixels, you can experience success with this tactic. And before we talk about why retargeting works, we have to consider why people abandon their carts in the first place. And for me personally, I know that I have done some comparison shopping. I'm not necessarily in the right mindset to buy, or I might not know that there's shipping associated with it. I'll go and find another competitor or another brand that will get me my product faster to me and without that shipping. And it's that incentive that you can use in your social ad. 70% of this happens to people who abandon their cart and they see the shipping cost. So if this has happened to you, if you've experienced this, in your ad itself, you can include a free shipping code or something of that nature to really remind the user why to come back, why to get retargeted and visit you and make that purchase again. Another reason why people might not be able to buy right away online is that we're living in a really omni-channel world and experience where people want to be able to visualize things and have convenience and see things in store, and even engage in some things like buy online and pick up in store. So it's all about really creating that frictionless, seamless user experience. And another way you could use retargeting in your ads is to drive people to your storefront and to encourage them to explore your products and try them on and see them for themselves in store. So in order to get started, like we said, we really recommend installing the pixel or cookie tracking on your website. This can help track your customers as they explore the web and explore your products and your brand. Then you can set up abandoned cart triggers, which will automatically send these targeted ads that are personalized and reach people who did not finish their purchase. If you're not sure where to look, you can definitely start with some competitive research and get an idea of where your customers are spending the most time online. At the agency, we're helping our clients with customer research and making sure that we know exactly what segments of customers are visiting Facebook versus TikTok, where those unduplicated unique audiences are, and basically assisting our clients in making sure we're reaching the right people on the right platforms and at the right time.
So for strategy number 2, incorporate contests and gamifications in your ads. Everyone loves games, and we're going to show you how you can end up using it. So gamification is just a fun way to really get people to engage. And that's one of the biggest metrics in social media. If you look at their algorithms, they don't really care too much about likes. They care about comments, how much time people are spending on their social networks. They don't want them to actually leave. They want them to stick around longer. A lot of these social networks are spending a ton of money on AR and VR. Just look at Snap. Look at, Snap had those glasses. Facebook acquired Oculus. Sweepstakes, photo contests do well, captions, interactive puzzles. These are all examples of games you can include. And here's really cool one that I love by Eminem. It's Eminem's I Spy game that brought 25,000 new likes, 6,000 shares, and 10,000 comments. The big one here is comments. Comments have more meaning than shares or likes on these social networks because it takes more effort for people to leave an actual comment. Another cool one was by Mazda. They had this Light Rider game, and it beat industry's benchmarks by 1,000%. And it was just really cool. If you haven't seen it yet, just make sure you go and check it out. Created tons of amazing engagement. So how do you get started with gamification ads? First, you need to set goals. If you haven't set your goals, then you're kind of screwed, right? Because yes, you can create something that creates a lot of engagement, but it may not help solve what you're looking for. More engagement in the brand, or more sales, or more comments, or more followers. You need to have a goal, and you need to make sure that whatever you're creating aligns with that goal. Because if it does something else that doesn't align with your goal, sure, you may get a lot of likes or comments, but then you're not really succeeding. Then you need to create a game experience. You need to add a competitive element, and this one's super important because if you don't add a competitive element, people won't share it as much or keep playing or trying. And then you need to encourage the audience with interaction, and of course, keep it simple.
Strategy number 3, use Facebook lead ads to generate more leads. Facebook lead ads allow you to collect information directly from Facebook through lead capture forms. It's really easy. All you need to do is create a lead ad form and link it to your Facebook page. When somebody clicks on your ad, they'll see a pop-up window with a few questions about their needs or their interests. It allows potential customers to easily provide their name, their email address, phone numbers, etc. But lead ads are best for businesses that want to expand reach and generate more leads. One was really cool was MakerBot is a 3D printer company. They utilized the lead gen ads in one of their campaigns, offering a free refurbished model with when customers purchase 2 new 3D printers. And so you can kind of see down there at the bottom, just the get a quote offer, promoting that offer. Another, you could think of a lot of, B2B or SaaS-based companies, utilize lead gen forms to offer something of value. Typically white papers, ebooks, or other great ways, to entice users to give their information. Because everybody knows if you give your information to a company, to expect to receive a call from your sales team. So make sure to give, entice them with a promotion or an offer for doing that, and obviously giving them something of value like this free ebook for doing so. Setting up lead forms or getting started is really easy. But one of the most important things to do when setting them up is to make sure you keep your lead form short and simple. Like I mentioned before, make sure to test your ad copy and run some where you're including an incentive or an offer for your customers who fill it out. The offer should be really enticing so that people take action and give you their information. Include a really clear call to action at the end of your lead ad to track the results and see which ads perform the best.
Strategy 4, using dynamic Facebook ads across different marketing channels. So we heard about the lead gen format, dynamic ad that automatically promote products to your audience. And it kind of takes two different approaches: a prospecting approach, which uses your catalog of products or services to reach new audiences based on their browsing behaviors, their intent signals, and their interests that they're showing when they're exploring different websites, conducting their research. And then there's also, back what I said earlier, dynamic ads for retargeting, where I'm sure we've all experienced it. You visit and you see a sweater on Nordstrom or some other website, and then it just follows you everywhere. So dynamic ads are one of those examples that you can use for both prospecting and retargeting. And basically, if you have a swimwear or a summer clothing line, just as an example, and your customer has been browsing different warm vacation spots, different travel plans, anything that indicates that this is a product that they might be interested in, if you connect your catalog to the Facebook ad platform, you're going to be able to show multiple versions of your ad with multiple products rather than setting up each individual ad for each individual product. Seems like very tedious work there. And so Facebook machine learning takes some of that heavy lifting and does the kind of intent signal matching for you with a dynamic ad. So it's obviously very easy to see how e-commerce businesses can leverage dynamic ads, but it's not just e-commerce ads that can benefit. You can see this example here with McCarthy and Stone. It's a real estate company, and in this case, they were promoting their retirement communities. They targeted UK-based users who were 55 years or older, actively searching for retirement communities and apartments on their website, and they were able to serve these dynamic ads of different locations to the users. And some of the results that they generated were a 4 times increase in sales leads and a 2 times more efficient cost per lead year over year than their other campaigns. And something I want to point out on the screenshot, Neil, if you don't mind, on the previous slide, you can see this little text overlay over the image. And that is something that our agency refers to as a dynamic product ad frame. The frame in this instance can be a border or a graphic or some sort of overlay that goes over the image. And in the case of an e-commerce company, if you have a product and it's on a white background, having that pop of color that is associated with your brand, advertising that's 35% off for a discount that you're offering over Labor Day weekend or another holiday coming up, or just even including, like I said earlier, free shipping on that border, will automatically overlay that graphical element, and it just adds another reason or value prop to entice the user to click over. And then another example of using dynamic is Mercedes-Benz Japan. They were retargeting people who had searched their website pre-owned vehicles, and they not only showed them the cars that they looked at, but they also showed similar products. So they set up this dynamic ad campaign through different geolocations and really personalized, localized experience for interested buyers, generating higher click increases in inquiries and increases in conversion rates as well. So to get started with dynamic ads, you first need to know your objectives. That's something that we'll touch on a lot during this presentation. It's not enough just to run an ad, have the creative and targeting, but you want to know what your outcomes of this ad will be. And so after you figure out what your objectives are, you can identify a specific interests or behavior and parameters to layer on and reach your audience on Facebook or Instagram or the Facebook audio work. And then finally, you want to ensure that you can track all these conversions and attribute them properly to Facebook through Ads Manager, and basically use the platform resources available to ensure that you're testing and tracking and generating results.
Strategy number 5, using polls on your Instagram and Snapchat ads. So you guys have seen this all day long. They're really popular on Instagram and Snapchat because it creates engagement. More engagement equals more showings of whatever you're creating, right? So the key with social algorithms is engagements keep people on there longer. It keeps them from using another social network or a website or watching TV. So they really optimize for engagement. And polls tend to have some of the highest engagement rates out there because it allows you to get feedback or let people vote, and people just love it. So here's one strategy. Ask your audience to vote on new product varieties. Dunkin' Donuts sees a 20% lower cost per view with pulling stickers. And they have, hey, what's your favorite American classic, donuts or French fries? And here's another one. This is trivia. And Reserve sees a 1.5x lift in brand awareness using interactive polls. One of my buddies, Cody Sperber, who is also known as a clever investor. He's a real estate guy in Phoenix, Arizona, based out of the US. And what he always does is he puts different pictures of houses on his Instagram profile. Like one may be a brand new modern house, and another one may be like a brand new house, but it's more traditional style, and people will vote what they like. And it's just quite interesting to see what people vote on. And they're one of his most popular Instagram polls that he runs. So how do you get started with Instagram polls? Well, that's simple. You just go on Instagram, you create a poll, share it in your stories, and then boom, you'll get engagement. You can track results and then go from there. Snapchat, it's a little bit different. You need to download the Poly app, then you need to create your poll and share your snap code or story link on social media. And of course, track your answers and results in real time.
And speaking of Snapchat, that's our sixth strategy, using the shoppable AR or augmented reality features in your Snapchat ads. So this is a really cool way to really have fun and continue engaging with your audience, like Neil mentioned. Shoppable AR is becoming a very popular feature. It does take a little creative and dev lift work, but you can basically create a lens or a filter that lets people try on or interact with your brand or product. So you can see the clothing example here, but MAC Cosmetics is another brand that I've personally engaged with. They have Snapchat lenses to try on, 20 or so different colored lip and eye products. It's really an immersive feature that brings this in-person shopping experience right to your home, on your couch, in your transit, whatever you're doing. You're able to engage with a brand and really feel like you can have that personalized experience and see what things would look like on yourself. But it's not just for brands that are selling products, because you can also create branded filters that promote your business during specific times of year. I know we have Lunar New Year coming up. We have Valentine's Day coming up. If you, just as an example, have like heart-shaped sunglasses and create a Snapchat AR filter and really drive brand engagement and awareness with people trying on the lenses there, that's an idea. Another example here on the slide, you can see Starling Bank, which is a bank in the UK, created a cross-channel experience where they had a TV campaign, and they also brought this campaign to life using a Snapchat lens, basically just keeping the brand top of mind among younger consumers. And so they really drove increases in brand awareness and message association using AR. Lego, this example is awesome. They basically created a physical and digital AR store that lets people explore a store and really explore the products that Lego offers on Snapchat itself before being led to the brand's e-commerce site to place actual orders of the physical items. So it drove over 18 million impressions and over 37,000 shares, and a really, really strong engagement, which, as Neil mentioned before, is crucial to getting users spend time with your brand on these social platforms and kind of send those signals that they might be a more qualified consumer. So if you are ready or interested in creating a shoppable Snapchat AR experience, of course, choose a goal for your campaign, like driving brand awareness or traffic or promoting a specific product or driving app installs. After you've identified that goal, you can create your AR lens and just focus on using content that is, specific to your brand, but also engaging, telling a fun story, telling a brand experience that is, something that is memorable and interactive and will help achieve those goals.
Goes into strategy number 7, which is really important. It's not necessarily a new strategy, but just something to keep in mind, as it's going to hold true through 2020. And that's creating Instagram ads that resemble organic content. Keeping in mind Facebook's 20% rule, where 20% of the ad or image you're using with your ad, it can only be covered with text, right? Or text included on that image. Anything more than that can be flagged, and Facebook doesn't allow that. So even though a lot of brands still try to force it, Facebook has a lot of studies done. We know, and a lot of statistics there, where they know that those types of ads that violate that 20% rule just don't work, and so don't try to force it. It's especially on Instagram, people love that platform for the rich imagery, and so with your brand, depending on your brand, it is kind of important to just kind of look at potential lifestyle images or people utilizing your products, and highlighting that. Like some of my favorite brands that I follow, like the North Face, I love it because it's highlighting more what you do with their gear or with their, performance wear, and the types of activities that you can engage in. But also they're beautiful pictures of people out hiking or exploring, while being able to stay warm, while they're climbing a mountain covered in snow and ice. So, if we go to the next slide, yeah. So 90% of users on Instagram follow at least one brand on social media, and 79% of consumers say that user-generated content highly impacts their purchasing decisions. Um, you know, consumers are 2.5 times more likely to say that user-generated content that's very authentic helped influence their purchasing behavior, versus marketers are 2 times more likely to say that brand-generated content is more authentic compared to user-generated content. I tend to side with user-generated content, and that kind of leads into another strategy we have later on in the slide about potentially working with influencers. So, again, how to prioritize high-performing Instagram images. Don't cover them up with large images or text. Try to keep that content looking as natural as possible in feed as users are scrolling through their feed. And like I said, keep that text overlay to a very, very minimum, if not, keeping it off at all. And then keep that design aesthetic in mind, and what your consumers or your customers are looking for and why they engage with your brand.
All right, this next strategy, Matt, you really set me up for this because we're talking about capitalizing TikTok trends in your TikTok ads for a seamless experience. And TikTok is all about that authenticity and that natural organic style of content where it's fast paced and very unpolished. TikTok, as Neil mentioned earlier, is one of the fastest growing social media channels, and there's 500 million users, 114 monthly million users as well. And every day it seems like there's a new trend or meme taking place. So it can definitely be a great place to find new ideas for your social media ad strategies. And so, like we mentioned with Instagram before, TikTok can help create that user experience that is seamless and authentic and organic feeling as well. Using some of those trending topics can also help boost your ad engagement and conversions. But in addition to the trends, you just basically need to find what your everyday moment is as your brand or company or your service offering. In this example, Crumble Cookies basically showcased their rotating selection of specialty cookie flavors, and they created all these delicious behind the scenes baking videos for each of their limited releases, which drove a lot of engagement and hype for their product. And so they also paired that with a branded hashtag, and they were able to track engagement and performance with that branded hashtag and following along on these BTS videos. So this is a really great way to just find out what works for you on TikTok, what users are resonating with. And another strategy would be to use influencers in your TikTok ads, because you can tap into new audiences from these influencers followings as well. And these examples from KFC are kind of more on the macro influencer scale with, DJs like Dylan Francis generating awareness for their new chicken sandwich. But any brand can work with any influencer of any size as long as there's a following and you know that someone is doing really great work on TikTok, making organic, natural videos, music and dance trends, or whatever else is taking off. it's always a good idea to reach out, because those creator-driven content pieces are going to drive more view-through rates for a brand than something that looks more stylized. So you just definitely need to be aware of what works versus what works on Facebook and Instagram, basically tailoring your content to how people are engaging with it on these different platforms. So to get started with TikTok, you can leverage those trends that we mentioned to help start growing your audience. There's a few different types of ad units you as well. Use as many hashtags as possible, include them so that users can find your related content. And then, in the example of collaborating with an influencer, you can create that specific, unique brand as well to measure the success of your campaign.
That leads us into strategy number 9. Just like Sherry talked about in utilizing TikTok in that user-generated content, some of those brands were using to highlight, create these fun videos that, drove a lot of virality for brands like KFC, right? That's something that you don't have to do as a brand. You don't have to, you don't have to be the face like Neil, right, who gets on and constantly is talking about marketing and different strategies and things. If you're not comfortable in getting on the camera or being in videos yourself, you can work with influencers to create that content for you. And especially on YouTube, there's lots of different ways that you can leverage and do that. When you use influencers, go out and find them, find who's promoting, music, fashion lines, products, movies, tourism. And if those things are related to your customers, your demographic audience, it could be your product specifically. Find influencers that have large follower bases that engage with those channels, right? Look at how many videos they're putting out. Look at that user engagement or the consumer engagement with those customers. And by doing this, it can help you connect with new audiences who aren't familiar with your brand yet. Especially depending on certain platforms, it can be a lot younger audiences or even international audiences by doing this. So, I would say, collaborate with these influencers. You can either reach out directly to them. There's other agencies out there that specifically work with influencers, and being able to connect your brand with influencers, large influencers. And then, they can help you create kind of what the content and engagement can look like with that. I'm sure you as consumers, your own individual consumers, right, have engaged with things like that. I am an avid outdoors, enthusiast. I love snowboarding and mountain biking. And, whenever I'm looking at bikes or snowboards or new gear in general, a lot of times, as I'm doing my research and I'm looking at products, I'm also going to YouTube and I'm looking at anyone that's done product reviews. I want to see them holding it, touching it, looking at it, riding it, and seeing, what their opinion is, if that resonates with me in my type of riding, right? But I'm heavily influenced by that. Another trend, especially rising trend in 2022, is the use of VTubers as influencers. It's new, it's different, it's weird for some people, right? VTubers is virtual YouTubers. It offers a very unique and sometimes very authentic spin on advertising that can be very engaging. This is a massive trend. It is growing. Currently, the most popular VTuber has 3.7 million subscribers, and the highest viewed VTuber video of all time is, the video has been seen 61.8 million views. So it's insane, and it's growing quickly. So VTubers get an average of 30 million video views per month, and see around 40,000 new subscribers each month. So that is a hot trend for 2022 that we see continuing. So getting started with influencers on YouTube, Instagram, any platform really, right? How to get started is just research those influencers. Find who's resonating with your consumers, your products, or your customer base, and choose an influencer that resonates, right? And then choose your ad type and your campaign goals. And then, of course, make sure that you measure and optimize those results. So strategy number 10. This is fun, right? I've seen a lot of questions come through about B2B. LinkedIn is one of my favorite platforms for B2B companies. And yes, B2B companies can advertise successfully on other social platforms like Facebook as well. But LinkedIn is kind of the tried and true, and that's where a lot of business marketers should live because that's where their customer base and audience is. So utilizing LinkedIn event ads is one of my favorite strategies. And it really allows you to target bottom of the funnel leads for your sales team to really kind of fill that pipeline. And it's what every sales team's constantly asking marketers for help with, right? But it really allows you as marketers, this is a great tool to promote events, especially because of COVID, right? A lot of events have turned virtual. And so, you create these, events and link them to your LinkedIn page. And then what you're able to do is go in and select different audiences of who you want to target, right? And these can be custom audiences that are targeting like your CRM database, or these can be audiences, that you are selecting by the industries that they work with, the titles that they have, and could be the key decision makers that your business knows, are typically the decision makers who engage with your brand about the services or products that you offer. Right. So how to use this strategy? 360 Suite Events, they promoted an event on LinkedIn that generated 632 SQLs in just 6 weeks, sales qualified leads. This is a platform who leads a lot of virtual events in general, but that 632 SQLs had an average cost of only $19 per registration. So, really good success there. Another brand is another company that's really trying to promote a live stream conference because of COVID. So they launched this event campaign to reach those people by targeting, like I said, key personas of who they feel their customers typically are built around. With this event targeting, they were able to drive 2,000 advanced registrations and reach an audience of over 80,000 people and generated 4,000 views. So great success with these campaigns. How to get started: create a LinkedIn event page, customize your campaign, set those targeting parameters if it's a custom audience or if it is a targeted audience. And then again, make sure to measure the impact of your event with tracking.
So bonus
All right,
strategy.
we were done.
Go for it.
Go ahead, Neil. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was
No.
just going to say you thought we were done, but we do have a strategy for you about a platform that we haven't talked about yet, Reddit. It basically offers these unique opportunities to reach people who are really engaged in subreddit communities. And our strategy here, the bonus strategy, is using memes and GIFs. And I know it's GIFs, I still say GIFs, in your Reddit ads. So brands who are already kind of comedic or casual with their messaging and have that sort of brand voice and tone are likely going to be able to see success with advertising on Reddit. So one of the first ways you can use this strategy is asking users to participate in making a meme with you. So by using a photo of a product or your employee even, you can prompt a caption creating contest or a Photoshop contest to make the best meme. And so this example is John Wick 3 promoting its DVD release by asking Reddit users to caption a meme of Halle Berry. And so this amassed hundreds of comments and it had a Reddit Gold giveaway. It drove lots of engagement there. This next example is so funny. It is Finlay Hats owner Jimmy Hickey, and he was on vacation in Italy and saw someone wearing his hat that he had designed. He posted a photo of himself and his customer on the streets of Italy, and the post blew up. And the brand was really able to engage with users in the comments and plug their Shopify store. There is a key point here, though. You don't really want to come to people in Reddit specifically with the intent of selling. It's such a natural, organic community that you want to be able to tell some sort of story, have some evoke some emotions, in this case, humor, coincidence, just basically relate your brand without asking for a hard sell. Otherwise, you're just going to get downvoted and you won't be as embraced in the Reddit subreddit communities. And to get started, you just want to make sure you have a image repository of relevant and usable creative of your own brand and product, as well as different memes and GIFs that you can use to reply to users in terms of keeping that casual connection going on. You want to test your image out and ensure that you're kind of reaching a smaller community first before trying to expand to larger subreddits. And then Reddit ad designs are also different, like we mentioned, across other channels. There's a different strategy for each social platform. So just do your research, make sure that what you're saying on Reddit is authentic, you're using the lingo that they're using, and you're just coming across as a really genuine, not trying to go for the hard sell. Make it short and sweet and memorable, and just really attracting engagement.
And now the 10 best social media ad creatives examples that you've sorry about that. The 10 best social media ad creatives I have ever seen. So 1, Oreoscope. I don't know if you guys have seen this. You got to check it out. Platform that they use, Twitter. It had almost 20,000 likes, 573 quote tweets, and 643 retweets. It was really cool. If you haven't seen it, go look on Twitter, search for the hashtag, and you'll see all the engagement. It's really crazy. The Getty Museum UGC Art Challenge. The reason I love this one is because it was UGC related, and they had a challenge, right? For you to recreate a work of art with objects and people in your home. So it gets creative. It's funny, right? A lot of people look at art as stiff or, fancy, but they made it fun and playful. And that kind of stuff does much better than when you're just always serious within your creatives. MeUndies video ads. If you haven't seen them, you should check them out. They're really popular in the US. They've reached 1.5 million people, 40% increase in conversions. They've done very, very well. Another one is Tom's. They're known for buy a shoe, they'll donate a shoe. And what they ended up doing is lifestyle focused video. And it resulted into 17-point life in uniqueness and 17-point lift in uniqueness and 9-point lift in favorability. So, it was just really cool. People can really resonate with the brand. And another reason people can really resonate with the brand is because they're genuinely trying to help people as well. The videos help show that as well. And what's really cool with Tom's is they started doing this before it was really a trend, right? They try to help people out, buy something, we'll give away one for free, before a lot of other people started jumping on the bandwagon and copying them. Number 5, Mary Bossmas. If you haven't seen this, make sure you go and check it out on TikTok. Has tons of views, literally well over 2 billion, approaching almost 3. It's ridiculous. You got to check this out. Number 6, if you're a soccer fan or football fan, depending on what part of the world you live in, FC Barcelona, go for it. And I love this as well. It was a really cool challenge. We talked about how gamification, challenges, all this kind of stuff can do really well. If you can use influencers and people who are well known, it can even amplify it even more. The KFC example that the team showcased earlier was a great example of that. Number 7, Sport Check Father's Day. 8.7% lift in omni-channel sales, and a 9.1x return on ad spend. The 9.1x is massive. Check them out on Instagram if you haven't seen it. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't talk about. All marketing channels, good ones at least, they're all becoming saturated. So you don't really have a choice other than to go omni-channel. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging omni-channel, and this helped them quite a bit with that. 8, Naga Sushi, Instagram Direct, 30% increase in customer conversions, 20% of new customers coming through Instagram Direct. That's massive. You guys got to go and check them out on Instagram. 9, Truff bidding strategy. And if you haven't seen them on Snapchat, go check them out. And with, whether it's their foods, hot dogs, whether it's, burgers, everyone started looking at this and be like, all right, wow, I can end up using this amazing, spice with truffle oil, whatever, put it on hot dogs, French fries, burgers, it didn't matter. And they saw a 30.52% decrease in cost per purchase. With ad spend continually going up for all platforms, that's massive. And that helped them get a better percent increase in the return on ad spend. And last but not least, Perrier Juice, 6.4 million unique reach and a plus 21 points product awareness lift. If you haven't seen their products, check them out. They're a really well-known brand. They've been around for a while and a lot of people love them. So a quick recap of the strategies. You can use retargeting for abandoned carts. I want you to incorporate contests and gamifications. Use the Facebook lead ads, assuming you're a company that needs to generate leads and has a sales team, or you're following up over email or webinars. You also want to use dynamic Facebook ads across different marketing channels. Make sure you use polls on Instagram and Snapchat. Try to use some of their AR features so people can actually see what these products will look like on themselves if they're buying it. And I want you to create Instagram ads that resemble organic content, because people don't really care for ads as much, but they work, especially if you can resemble organic content, which means use less text on your ads. Capitalize on TikTok trends. TikTok's really popular. Use VTubers as influencers in your YouTube ads, and run LinkedIn event ads, assuming you're running an event. And of course, the bonus one, use GIFs and memes for your Reddit ads. So that's pretty much it. Let's get into some questions. And if you, of course, need any help, or you want my team to just implement all this stuff for you, you can scan this right here, that image with your phone. Just take it out, scan it, and it'll pull you to our website. You can put in your information, or you can just email us at consulting@neilpatel.com. So let's dive into some questions.
Hi, everyone. It's Barbara here from Neil's marketing team. And if you thought the webinar was over, you are wrong. Now it's the best time that we're about to get started with, which is Q&A time. So first question is actually one that I thought was very interesting, which is by Saulo, actually. And he is asking how to avoid fake clicks and ad fraud. And if you guys can maybe tell us a case of a client, something that you experienced yourselves.
Yeah, I'll take this. I think that the most important to consider is the creative messaging. You want to make sure that you're not attracting clickbait or something that's, cheap and easy. You want to make sure that the user has an expectation of what they're going to be receiving once they click on the ad. So it's not just the ad itself, but the landing page experience, and making sure that you have relevant information that is useful, that is entertaining, that is whatever objective that you're trying to achieve.
All right. Up next, we have maybe now that Facebook is metaverse, this is a question by Ubu. What do you think will change advertisement-wise?
I don't think anything in the short run will change from an advertising perspective. In the long run, yes, as they start releasing more quote unquote metaverse type of experiences like Mark Zuckerberg presented, you're going to see companies with sponsorships, or even like shopping malls in the metaverse, where companies can have their products featured, people can try them on, eventually buy them and get them shipped to them right away. But you're going to start seeing more ad formats coming around. It's just we're not there yet, and the metaverse has to really be built more so and start taking off.
Cool.
Yeah, we're seeing hints of that to come. I know Nike filed a few patents for those shoes and NFTs and things to be sold in the metaverse. So the building blocks are there. I think I agree, Neil. We're a few years away from that just yet.
Nothing to worry about yet, guys. So also another question people always ask this, what has been, if you guys can tell us, what has been your greatest, work challenge related to paid social recently, just to try and leverage your experience in the agency? So either Sherry or Matt, I guess. Well, you can answer too, of course, Neil, but just how did you solve your biggest challenge now related to, paid social recently?
Yeah, Matt, I'll go first if you want to follow up after with your own personal experience. So something that is challenging about book in particular is exiting what's called the learning phase. And so for those who don't know what the learning phase is, it's that period of calibration from when you start the campaign to when it is fully optimized and leaning on Facebook's ad platform to find users that are going to visit your website, going to click and convert, et cetera, just whatever objective that you're choosing. And so one of the problem solving experiences that my team and I had, our internal agency team with our external client team, was switching the conversion event from a more bottom of funnel event to something higher up. And in this case, it was completing the form versus starting the form. And so by moving up the funnel and generating more conversion events, we were able to see those campaigns generate more data and generate more learnings, leave learning phase faster, and help optimize towards our goal. And so in order to check on the back end, we cross-referenced Facebook performance with our clients' first-party data to ensure that just because we took a few steps up the funnel to generate those conversion events didn't mean we were losing and sacrificing lead quality as well. So those are the types of things that we really encourage as an agency, testing and ensuring that you have your control, what's working already, but you're willing to branch out, see if there's a conversion event or a creative or a targeting lever that you can pull that's different. It's all about testing. So that's something that all of the strategies that we recommended today, you don't necessarily need to jump right in. You can dip your toe in the water by implementing a strategy against what's working for you already, testing and running them head to head, and seeing what works for you, and then continuing a testing and learning cycle.
Yeah, I think, obviously one of the biggest challenges we faced in 2021 was Apple's iOS update that, is kind of, leading to a cookieless, experience with social media right now. It's really been affected in the performance that we see from our campaigns. And so you can't just rely on the performance metrics within the Facebook platform. You have to leverage other tracking platforms to be able to get the whole, potentially the whole picture, and not just looking at specific silos of your ad platforms, if that makes sense. So, but definitely been one of the biggest challenges that we've faced in 2021. So.
Nice. Thanks, Matt. Dimitris is asking, hope I pronounced that right. Hi, Neil. How cost efficient are dynamic ads? Can we trust Facebook machine learning for auto placements and target expansion, or are we just wasting money?
No, you're not wasting money. Think of it this way. Nothing is perfect, but if Facebook is trying to create more features and improve their ad product, so it gets you more conversions and makes your life easier, which is the second thing. And if they didn't accomplish that, they wouldn't continually generate more revenue and hit quarterly earnings numbers. So they're trying to create more product lines that make your life easier.
Cool. Then we have another one back at 14, and she's asking, were these Crumble Cookies TikTok posts ads or just regular posts from their business account? How does one create a branded hashtag? Guess she's curious about one of the examples we gave.
Yeah, the Crumble TikTok example is a great fusion of an organic strategy with a paid strategy. So it was some of those posts posted in feed as organic TikToks, but then amplified through advertising through video view campaigns. And so if you're able to spend on brand awareness dollars like that, you can ensure that some of your organic content is seen by bigger and newer audiences through paid advertising. And when it comes to the branded hashtag, it just takes some creativity from your team, something memorable, something that includes your brand name in the hashtag. So in that case, I think it was hashtag Crumble Review. And if it's something unique to the pillar of content that you'll plan on publishing, and you'll have a lot of different content that falls under that branded hashtag, it's just a great way to click on it and see all at once, not only your posts, but UGC from audience participating in the trend or the challenge, or just wanting to show the brand that they are using your product, or engaging with your brand. So I know alliterations are always really catchy, so that's what my recommendation would be, to incorporate in your branded hashtag.
Thanks, Cherry. All right, so we're up with the last question, which is for Neil. And the person's asking, why should I use an agency instead of doing my social ads in-house? What are the advantages of, hiring an agency?
Sure. So a lot of companies actually do a mixture of both. There's the big advantage of using an agency, and there's nothing wrong with using an agency or not using an agency. It's up to you. But why most companies use an agency is they see so many different clients in different verticals. So they have a lot more experimentations and learnings from testing, especially on a regular basis, because they continually are faced with challenges for different clients. So they're typically able to produce better results than just an in-house team in most cases from what we've seen.
Thank you. Let's just say, I guess, our final words, not last. Final words here on the webinar.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for everyone joining. Barbara, Salo, everyone at the NPD team. Really appreciate you guys being here. And if we can ever help you out, just check us out at npdigital.com.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye.
My name is Neil Patel, and I help companies generate more revenue through digital marketing. Entrepreneur Magazine said I was the #1 marketer in the world, and they also said I created one of the 100 most brilliant companies. I started my first website at the age of 16. I took all the money that I earned from working at an amusement park, and I paid a marketing firm. The marketing firm provided no results, and I quickly learned that I wasn't alone. Out of my frustration and from being broke, I had no choice but to learn marketing. My first client was a power supply manufacturer. I helped them generate another $25 million in sales, and from that point, I realized the power of marketing. I helped everyone that I could, and I built my reputation by being honest and over-delivering. I've helped companies like Google, NBC, Viacom, General Motors, eBay, but nothing's more satisfying than helping small business owners succeed. I founded 4 multi-million-dollar companies, and I've learned all the mistakes that you should avoid. I've written about them on Forbes, Entrepreneur, Inc., Fast Company, and even on my own blogs. It's so awesome to know that colleges from all around the world are teaching my material in their classroom. Over the years, I've received awards from the President of the United States, the House of Representatives, and the United Nations. People believe marketing is expensive and difficult. Fortunately, that's not true. There is a formula. Even if you don't have a technical bone in your body, you can get results. And my mission is to share this formula with you.